As I drove in today to this cemetery, there's a particular, two different people. I had the window open in my car, and then two people at gravesites really, really grieving hard, and that's difficult to see. And that sometimes you see that in the cemetery. Lots of times I don't. Just see people sitting quietly by the graves or tending to their loved one's grave, but two different people at two different graves crying pretty hard. I could hear one woman talking to the grave, and hope they're doing okay. And that can be cathartic, I'm sure. The release. Death hits everybody in different ways, and that's talking to the grave and then letting out your emotions. It's just hard to see that sometimes. We've all been there. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Today here I'm at Green Lawn Cemetery in Roswell, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta, suburb of Atlanta. I've been to this cemetery before to cover the grave of the person that I'm doing today. The last time I was here, it was a very, very rainy day. It was a few years ago. Very dark. It's not that great today either. But it's just camera work was a little jumpy. It was just very wasn't happy with the video. Sometimes it's just not happy with what I put up. And so I'm back here. I'm gonna probably put some of that footage in, though. It was a very interesting trip. There, like I said, it was raining, and there's an overhang here, and there's a homeless gentleman around the corner that I was talking to as I went and walked around the building, and he was seeking shelter from the rain, which is, seeking shelter out here is not that much. Very sad. I gave him some water, some food. Hope he's doing okay. That was 2-3 years ago. But yeah, it was dark. The rain kept coming off and on. But I'm back, and I want to revisit, and for the first time that you've seen, visit the grave of Rick Rude, wrestling superstar. And I knew exactly where to go. You come to the back of the cemetery, this building that I just showed you can't miss it. And Rick Rude is right at the back, around the corner. And there's going to be a belt on the tree. He was the Intercontinental Champion at one point, right? And this is where Rick Rude is. Let's go. So as we make our way around, yeah, so right around this corner, and look here on that tree, there's a belt and a little bench. It's for our loving daddy, Rick Rude. I'm going to go closer in a moment. He was born in Minnesota. He was friends with Curt Hennig. He was a bouncer, an arm wrestler. Got his big break wrestling in Memphis for a man named Jerry Jarrett, who ran a circuit out there. That's who gave him the Ravishing nickname. Then he worked in Florida, world-class championship wrestling. Then in the NWA in the mid-'80s. Finally making his way to the WWF. It was WWF at the time. In late 1987. Didn't take off right away. But eventually he won the WWF Intercontinental title from Ultimate Warrior. That was at WrestleMania V in 1989. Number is 1989. Then he had a fight against Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam too. That was 1990. He left the WWF. At one point, he worked at All Japan Wrestling and then WCW. He had feuds with Ricky Steamboat, one of my favorites, if not my top wrestler of all time when he used to be in wrestling. Sting was another one of his rivals. He did win the NWA World title in 1993, but there was some sort of dispute between WCW and NWA, so it wasn't recognized. A back injury ended his career. He continued on as a manager and a commentator. And he appeared on 2 shows on the same night, I think for rival federations, which caused a lot of controversy. This is his last major stint with the company. He died April 20th, 1999. His cardiac arrest over in Alpharetta, Georgia. He was only 40 years old. And it was shown afterwards, an autopsy, that it was multiple drug intoxication. Apparently he was taking an anti-narcolepsy drug, I think. But only 40 years old. Some cobwebs on it. I'm going to get rid of those. Whoops. There we go. Clean it up a little. So it says here, Rick Rude, December 7th, 1958, April 20th, 1999, in God's loving care. And over here, when I was here last time, I think there was a doll. Well, you can see that some beads and stuff. I think there was a Rick Rude doll. Like an action figure, I should say. That's what we called them. And this bench here, our loving daddy, Rick Rude. And that's where I'll leave this very shiny rock that I was able to find. I'd just like to add that Rick Rude's son, Colton, who died in 2016 at a very young age, is not interred here. He is at a different cemetery in Georgia. Take you for a walk around. See what's happening back here. These would be ashes here. Smaller ones, people ask me that a lot. And these are caskets in the wall here. And it looks like somebody just passed away recently here. I think it was Mr. Charles Bolton, rest in peace. This is where the homeless gentleman was. He was here, kind of set up. I would say it was the only place he could find shelter. Yeah, it was just, I remember that day. It was very, very, very wet and cold and dark. And I think it was in like January or February of that year. I have to look. It got dark really early, like 4:30. And I should say also, well, I have to say, but I'm going to say that as I drove in today to this cemetery, there's a particular, I didn't film them, you didn't see them, but two different people. I had the window open in my car, and then two people at gravesites really, really grieving hard, and that's difficult to see. And that sometimes you see that in the cemetery. Lots of times I don't. Just see people sitting quietly by the graves or tending to their loved one's grave, but two different people at two different graves crying pretty hard. I could hear one woman talking to the grave, and hope they're doing okay. And that can be cathartic, I'm sure. The release. Death hits everybody in different ways, and that's talking to the grave and then letting out your emotions. It's just hard to see that sometimes. We've all been there. Rick Rude. I still have his action figure. I have them all in storage. All from the 80s. Wow. And this would be his wife, who is still with us. And she lives quite a long time. 1966, 34, 24, 58. Yeah, she's going to live a long time. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. To the two people I passed in this cemetery, I know they're not going to see this, but I hope they find peace. I hope their loved ones are resting peacefully. And everybody here at this cemetery. Thanks for watching. Rest in peace, Rick Rude. Peace. What a wrestler. The guy was built, and the guy was quite charismatic and quite a performer. Rick Rude. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace out. The gentleman's still there. I'm going to check on him. Give me one moment. I'm not sure what's happening with him back there. I just spoke with him, and it very nice, but he's not in the greatest of shape. I think could be alcohol or something else, but not very cognizant. But he just said, no, I'm okay. And I said, do you need any help? And he said, no, I'm fine, just resting. It's gonna get dark here. It's gonna get cold, and that's sad. But he doesn't want some help right now. So there you go. There's our mausoleum in the back, and right around the corner, right to your left, that's where Rick Rude is. Yeah, it's getting dark now, and thanks, Chuck, for your help, and I hope this gentleman over here is okay. Like I said, it's heartbreaking to see that somebody sleeping out in the cemetery when it's about to be nighttime, and you want to help them. I want to help them, and I'm sure you would too. And if they refuse help, if they don't want the help right now, I don't know what else to do. But he's fully clothed. He's like, in terms of warmth, and I understood what he was saying. Like, it wasn't like he was completely hammered or wasted. I don't know. I think there's maybe just sleeping it off in a cemetery. Rest in peace, Rick Rude. One of the greatest from my childhood and yours. All right. This has been my visit to Rick Rude's grave in Roswell, Georgia. Roswell. Peace.